What's up, guys? It's episode 310. Welcome back to the show. Hey, what's up? It's Jacqueline. Welcome back to the show. Happy Sunday. Thank you for being here. Please go ahead and hit that subscribe button wherever you're listening right now. And head over to patreon.com/tjms if you want to support the show. It's $5 a month. Go check it out. Once again, patreon.com/tjms. All right, let's get into it, guys. This is going to be a different episode. This is going to be kind of heavy, kind of dark, kind of, very personal. I'm going to get very raw and vulnerable with you and talk about a subject that I've been scared to talk about publicly on the internet for my whole life, basically, or since I've been going through this. So, I also need to preface what I'm about to say here by mentioning that, or I need to preface, I don't know what I'm saying. Trigger warning. I'll be diving into eating disorders. I'm going to get into the specifics about my personal experience with them. I'm going to be talking about body image stuff, exercise, verbal abuse, psychological abuse, so it's going to be heavy, and if you are, if you're going to be triggered by that, it's probably a good time to stop listening right now. And I'm also not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. Guys, I don't talk about things like this ever, and this is, again, the first time I'm mentioning my personal history with eating disorders, because, you guys, I think I have an opportunity right now for real to help people. And I realized that yesterday when I was watching the Masters with my boyfriend. We were just sitting on the couch, and I was like, oh my God, I have pictures on my old phone and videos of Tiger Woods when I watched him at the Farmers Open. Let me go find my phone, and I want to go look at them. So what happened was, while I was scrolling way back to like 2018, I passed so many different eras of my life through my camera roll that I've been through since I moved to San Diego. And like both of them were both of the eras I'm going to talk about are like polar opposite of each other. But I was like, oh my God, I've literally come so far, and I'm on the other side now. And I feel like, again, this is like a perfect opportunity to tell my story and help people if they struggle with their body and food and exercise and all that kind of stuff. And so anyways, I didn't show him the pictures of Tiger Woods in the videos. I was just like, I literally went to the bathroom to pee, and I was just sitting there I was so depressed looking back, and I just sat and I had 25,000 pictures on this phone. And life's pretty the camera roll really shows you what's up with your life story. And anyways, opportunity to help people. The number one thing I mean by that is, I feel like what I'm going to do today is offer an alternative approach to getting well, mentally well and physically well, because nothing I'm about to say was advice given to me by someone I looked up on the internet, or a documentary I watched, or anything online. It's all it all came from myself. And speaking of turning to the internet for advice, you know how I feel. If you listen a lot to the show, you know how I feel about getting your answers from the internet and, not listening to your own intuition. But again, I think this is a different perspective that not a lot of people, or I honestly have never really, like, I've never seen it before. And it's literally like my own little personal concoction that I came up with as far as how I literally got over every body image, eating disorder, food, exercise, self-esteem issue in my life. Like, it's incredible because here's the thing. Oh my God. I'm not even telling you guys. I want to like literally walk you back until I was like 3 years old. Being told I was beautiful for the first time in my life and like remembering that moment. And anyways, so Jesus, I purposely didn't take notes because I was like, I just want to sit and like talk this out as organically and as off the cuff as possible because, yeah, this is again my first time ever coming to the internet with this side of myself and this story about myself. So, the thing is, so I had my phone, right? And did I turn it on? I was going to pull up a picture for this episode to show everyone. And I saw a photo of myself from 2020 where I'm like holding Jimmy. He's like 8 weeks old. And I didn't recognize myself. I was like, oh my God, like I gained. So during 2020, I put on 25 pounds and it was just a bunch of like depression weight, or I just looked unhealthy and just my face, the reason why I didn't recognize myself, I was like, my face just looked so huge and like sad and my skin was awful. I mean, my chin was fucked because of the mask wearing, obviously. Like I had the worst chin acne during the pandemic ever. But yeah, it was just like, I looked like shit. And I can say that about myself because I feel like everyone has like I have personal standards, right? I have, you know, I care about looking good because it makes me feel good. And it's crazy to look at that. When I saw that video, or it was like a picture of me and Jimmy and like videos of me and him, I was like, oh my God, that was dark. And I didn't even realize it until now. I'm like, you're like glowing different now. And your life is, you're so healthy and vibrant and vital. And like everything about your health is like peak right now, and you did it in such a nonchalant, unintentional way. And that's a part I'm going to share with you eventually on this episode, is how I didn't I didn't go on a health quest to lose, because now it's all off. I used to be blonde, now I'm brunette. I'm back to my good, I'm in good health now and physical shape. I don't see, it's like, how do you talk about like eating disorders and body image and all that without like, I feel like I'm conflicted because I'm like, I care about my appearance. I like to be a certain size. I like to fit my clothes a certain way. And so it's like, I feel like that's fine to mention, but some people will be like, Jacqueline, it's not about your body. You shouldn't call attention to it. But it's important to me. I'm just going to be straight up with you. Like, I give a fuck about what I look like. And I like to feel healthy. And like, I like to have, you know, when I'm like walking around the streets, I don't want to feel like I need to like check the window all the time. Like, oh my God, do I look fat? Like, I just personally, that's not how I want to live my life. So that doesn't feel good to me. So, is this even going in a cohesive, is this a cohesive story so far? So yeah, my phone yesterday prompted me to talk about this. And then I went back to the gym this morning and I'm like on the treadmill doing my little 2-mile run to kind of warm up before I did my glute exercises. And what I realized is that I am in such a mentally better place inside of a gym now than I was a couple years ago when I used to go to this same gym. And I was like, oh my God, like I just feel so at home and at peace here, where before I was going to the gym to like do something, to try to like work some food off, or like get skinnier, or like it was all about like aesthetics and like looking better, and like I was constantly on this quest every time I walked into the gym to like get in better shape, which is like, yes, I'm still doing that, but mentally I'm not obsessive about it. That's the difference. I'm not obsessive inside of a gym. And that's what I realized this morning. So that also kind of was a prompt for me to, or like a reason to talk about this this today, because yeah, I went back to the gym for the first time in 2 years, and it just felt so good to be there, and I was and be there in a mentally like solid place where I'm so comfortable in my skin to the point where it's like I just feel very like I'm home. Like this is everything I've ever dreamed of. And for myself and my self-esteem and my confidence and all that, like I really feel like, yeah, I'm on the other side now, and this is my story. Okay, let's get into it. Shit. Speaking of being on the other side, I do need to say that I kind of want to explain what I meant by that real quick. My dream for myself has always been to wake up every day, jump out of bed, and from the time I wake up until the time I go to sleep, I'm not having intrusive thoughts all day about like, what am I going to eat next? Or did I eat too much yesterday? Like, can I eat, how much should I eat today? Because I ate X, Y, and Z amount of calories yesterday. Like, oh my God, I need to like, I'm feeling fluffy. I need to do like a super intense HIIT workout and like get like, I need to go, oh my God, I used to go on the Stairmaster and like kill myself for 30 minutes, and I do like speed 20 for 2 minutes straight, pause, like stop, speed 20 for 2 minutes straight. And I do these intense workouts because I was like, oh, I want to be like tighter for this party I'm going to this weekend, or like when I go out to the frats in college and shit. So yeah, what am I saying? Oh yeah, the dream I had for myself was to get to a place in life where I didn't have these intrusive thoughts all day long about what I'm going to eat, how I'm going to exercise, how my body looks, etc., etc. Because I thought, wouldn't that be such a freeing feeling and such a freeing way to live if I could roll out of bed in the morning, walk into my kitchen, and be chill when I pour myself a bowl of oatmeal, carbs, lots of carbs, how many calories, how many, gotta add protein, because if I don't add protein, I'm gonna get fat. Like, wouldn't it just feel great to like, just eat food and not be in my head about it? And I'm there, bitches. Like, I am so, okay, now I'm like fired up because I'm there. Like, I just went out, oh my God, I just went out and ate, it's called the Crack Shack a couple nights ago, and I had like me back when I first moved to San Diego. I literally just ate, again, trigger warning, I'm mentioning specifics about food. I literally just ate protein and vegetables around the clock for like a year straight, and I didn't touch anything fried and then anything processed. Yeah, French fries, no. Ice cream, no. Very little alcohol. No chips, no candy, no popcorn at the movies, like none of that. So I was so strict with my diet. So anyways, this place where we went to eat for dinner, I had been there before when I moved to San Diego, and there's something on the menu that I would get because it was like super clean, and like it was like a salad with shredded chicken and some quinoa. And so anyways, I'm at the menu, and I'm like, boom, I want the nugs, I want the fire nugs, side of fries, all brown, and then I want a mezcal. What did we get? We got these like smoky margaritas. We had 2 of them at the end of the night. Yeah, and I want a cocktail. Okay, boom, done. Zero thoughts about, oh my God, this is fried, it's unhealthy. Oh my God, I gotta go work out tomorrow morning. This is a cheat meal. None of those thoughts happened. And even, yeah, my boyfriend even asked me, he's like, oh, is this your cheat meal for the week? Because I mentioned last week that I'm doing a, this is so all over the place. Yes, I'm like doing a 8-week booty workout program with this girl who's personal training me here in San Diego. And yeah, so he's like, oh, is this your cheat meal for the week? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't even think about that. And I think there's something to be said about when your mind as you're eating something is like, this is bad, I shouldn't be doing this right now, I'm cheating on my diet, da, da, da. It's like your body turns into this like scared little fucking deer with its tail. Do deers have tails? No, they're short. Scared little dog with its tail between its legs, like freaking out. And so you're physiologically, like your body is in a state of like kind of like a fight or flight, I guess. Again, I'm not a doctor. This is just how I felt in the past when I ate something quote unquote unhealthy. And I feel like what happens is as you're eating, your body's like more, I'm guessing, I don't know, it's probably gonna store that and not use it, or like maybe that will turn into fat, where if you were just relaxed as you're eating it, it wouldn't. Because I'm so chilled out now with food. So yeah, back to my dream. I'm there. I'm so on the other side. I'm so relaxed with food now, and it feels great. But yeah, shout out to the Crack Shack. They're fire nuggets. They're like chicken nuggets, but they're like really, like it's like it's not like a processed chicken nugget from McDonald's. It's like the actual piece of chicken. Okay. This is not, the episode is not about restaurants. Okay, Jacqueline, talk about your life story, starting when I was a young child. So, yeah, I remember being like 3 years old, maybe. I had really short brown hair. It was like a bob. And I remember always getting comments about my eyes. And oh, you're so beautiful, or your eyes are sapphire blue, and you're just like constantly being told by adults, oh, you're so pretty, you're such a pretty little girl, you're so beautiful. So the reason I'm starting with this is because I do believe that from a young age, I became aware that my appearance, the way I looked was valuable, or like it was like how people perceived me positively, tongue twister, alliteration, perceived me positively because of the way I looked. And you know, and then I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like from a really young age, I understood from watching movies, from watching TV shows, that I kind of understood that like beautiful people got ahead, and your appearance, like looking good, got you places. And that's because of like the actresses and Angelina Jolie and Jennifer Aniston, all the like female actresses I watched growing up. I could tell, like I was so young, like I didn't really understand why, but I could just tell that like, oh, pretty people are on the big screens and they're the ones people like. And so I had it ingrained. And then of course Barbies, okay, there's something that was put in my hand when I was really young, and dolls, pretty dolls, and it was all about like being pretty and like looking girly and feminine and dainty and little, and like, you know. And I did dance, and I would do my hair, and my mom would put lipstick on my lips, and I was like 6 years old. Like I was in plays where we wore a lot of makeup on stage. And anyways, so from a young age, I just kind of like that clicked for me in my head, and I was aware of how I looked. And that was kind of like, that was a very innocent time where it was like, I wasn't on a diet then or anything, but not yet. Bitch, it's coming. You just wait till you hit puberty. Yeah, so, and I always like, I had an eye for beauty, or I was attracted to really pretty things, whether it was like I always took pictures of flowers. This is like not going to the right place, this storyline. I need to speed it up here. Let's talk about middle school, because the first time I realized that my body wasn't what the boys wanted in my class. So yeah, like in middle school, I remember there was a girl who was super petite, really short, and like really skinny. And not there, like I'm gonna say this throughout the episode. There's nothing wrong with any body type unless you're morbidly obese. I'm not body positive. There's a cutoff there for me. Like obesity is not okay. That's not an acceptable body type in my eyes. Shit. But like, yeah, if you're naturally really skinny, like I'm gonna make comments about like body types, and there's nothing inherently wrong with it. But what I'm saying is there was a girl in my class who would get chased around by the boys all day, and the boys would constantly flirt with her and talk with her and give her so much attention because she was unusually tiny compared to the rest of us girls in class. And I remember like my friends and a couple of my friends were always on like they were just, you know, on the bigger, like thicker. I think back then they weren't fat, but they were just like on that bigger side. And you know, I was always in that. I'm just naturally athletic, and I always say like I'm a brick shit house. I'm very like I'm an athletic build, and I'm boxy, and I'm muscular, and that's my genetics. But anyways, I remember me and my couple friends we would bitch so much. We'd like go over to each other's houses, and our moms would even like chime in. Like it was kind of fucked. Like they would say, oh yeah, well they just like her because she's tiny and skinny and she doesn't eat and like all this stuff, and they're like projecting their own fucking shit about food, and you know, on to this middle school girl, like they're saying that about her. And so I'm hearing these things from adults in like middle school. And so yeah, I kind of was like, oh okay, so she's really tiny, I'm not like her. But and the boys, I was always bullied. I was extremely bullied for my looks too. Like I had a really bad awkward phase in middle school, and I had buck teeth throughout elementary school. I'll never forget this one older boy named Stefan came up to me on the playground. He was like, when the fuck are you gonna, or he can't say fuck. He was too Catholic for swearing. Shout out Catholic school. That's where I went growing up. Yeah, he came up to me on the playground, and I'm in like 3rd grade, and he's like, when are you gonna get your teeth fixed? So yeah, I started out feeling cute as a little young girl, my cute little bob, and then I started getting awkward. And then yeah, I'll get to high school, and that's when I started getting really my body started changing a lot, and I started getting like chubby, and I felt really bad in my body during high school. But yeah, middle school, awkward phase. I had a mustache. I remember boys would tell me, oh, when are you gonna shave your mustache? Like, oh, you look like a man. I had a unibrow. When are you gonna, you know, like that kind of stuff. My body hair, they would comment on. And yeah, I just started feeling I felt, honestly, the middle school boys really affected me back then, because of they bullied me over how I looked, and it was negative. It was like, oh, or like my teeth were kind of yellow. I got bullied about that, and when my braces came off. So anyways, let's move to high school. This is where shit hits the fan. I'll be honest. This is where my body started changing. This is when I went on my first diet. This is when I started getting jealous, super jealous about the other girls I was around in school, the popular girls, the girls with like insane bodies, and the cheerleaders and all that. And I started really like hating myself and how I looked. So yeah, let's get into high school. Let's buckle up, bitches. So before I talk about high school, I want to mention that like none of this is actually a big deal in the grand scheme of things, and I'm saying that now as an as an older, wiser version of myself. But yeah, at the time, it was like the worst thing ever. I feel like a lot of people look back at high school and they're like, oh my God, it was hell. Like, it was the worst time of my life. And it kind of was for me when I think about kind of what I went through alone. Like, all this stuff, you guys, all of the stuff I'm mentioning, and the reason why I was so afraid of coming on the podcast today to talk about it is because it's literally like, it's honestly, in a weird way, like my dirty little secret about myself. Like, maybe if you were my friend, you probably could have like gone, like, you probably would have been like, oh yeah, there's probably something going on there with her. Or like, yeah, she seems a little weird about diet and exercise, and like, she seems like she has a problem there. But I would never openly talk about it. I would never, it was like, I felt so disgusted by myself, and I felt so gross. And I'll get into some of the I'm going to talk about some of the crazy episodes I've had with eating, and like the highs and the lows of that. So yeah, it's just, this has always been like this secret, and that's why it's like, oh my God, okay, 310 episodes, I'm finally talking about it. I'm not special. Oh my God. Another thing is, it's like, I'm not special. Like, who do I, like, I'm just like there's so many people that struggle with this kind of stuff. I'm just like you, if you're listening and you've struggled. Like, this isn't unique. And yeah, I don't know why I was so scared for so long to talk about it, when it's literally like one of the most common, I don't know what this, I wasn't going to go on Google and research anything before this, but I feel like it's commonly said, or the stat that's like passed around a lot is like 1 in 3 women. And I'm sure like adults, like maybe 30% of adults have an eating disorder. It's like a lot of people. So anyways, yeah. And I also feel like something that prompted me to talk about this, another thing, you know, I mentioned that finding my old 2020 cell phone kicked off this, the reason I'm podcasting about it today, or like prompted it. Another prompt was going to the gym today and just feeling so like at peace for the first time in a gym. And then the other thing is, I was skiing. I went up to Mammoth a few weekends ago, and there was a old picture I saw of myself from 2020 that really triggered me. It was like, oh my God, I was so disgusted. And I got in this like funk, and I was like acting off. And my boyfriend and I were on the chairlift. He's like, what's going on? What's wrong? And I like full on was like, I kind of broke down with him, and I told him everything. And he hadn't known, like, I didn't tell him. We've been dating for about a year now, and I never told him this side of myself, because one of my biggest fears with a boyfriend was like going out to a restaurant and him knowing that I have issues with food, and him thinking the whole time like, oh my God, is she okay? Like, is she actually enjoying this meal I'm buying for her right now, or is she pretending? Is she going to throw this up later? Like, is she good? Like, you know, I just didn't want it to be a thing in our relationship, because I was scared. I just like didn't, because through the whole last year of me dating him, like, I've really come around, and I've come so far where I don't really identify with having an eating disorder anymore, having issues with food, because I really don't. And it honestly healed. Like, dating him has healed it so much, because he's so normal with food. And I've dated, oh my gosh, I'm going to talk about it. I've dated someone where like they were on a worse diet than I was, and they fucking sprayed Windex. If I baked him cookies, he would like spray Windex on them and throw them in the garbage so he wouldn't eat them. Like, I've been around some toxic, like, or some fucked up, I've dated guys where they're on like a diet, and it's like they have really fucked up body image issues too. So anyways, yeah, it's like just telling him that, and then we ate dinner that night. I told him some more stuff, and I looked at him, I'm like, you're the first person I've ever told this to, other than family and my therapist. Like, I've kept this to myself for so long. and I've been scared to talk about it with you. And so I feel like now that I've told him, now that I just feel like, yes, I'm ready. I'm telling this is my story. Talking about it. But, did I talk about high school yet? No, I haven't. I need to get to it. Again, in the grand scheme of things, this is really just, I wish I would have, it's not a big deal. I wish I would have known what I know now, and that's life, and that's part of life. And I think, again, yeah, I have an opportunity to help people here by telling you my life experience, and, there's going to be nuggets of wisdom. I'm going to recap, just to bring back what I said in the beginning, how I healed from it all in such an effortless way. And that's probably going to be the most valuable part of the episode. This is one of those episodes, I know I say what I say about turning on the microphone and this is my show and I can talk about whatever I want. I don't really need to add value or educate my audience. It's all entertainment here. It's all jokes. It's all fun. Okay. This is not that type of episode. I do believe I have some helpful nuggets of wisdom. I do for the end of the episode. Jacqueline, don't get in your head right now about oversharing on the internet. This is your lane. This is what you do. Yeah, I'll say this. Sometimes lately, or sorry, I'm breaking down right now for a couple seconds. Sometimes I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you sharing so much about yourself on the internet? What are you doing? And then I'm like, you know what? This is the only thing that gets me through it. I'm like, you're cut out for it. This is what feels good for you and natural for you. And you happen to be someone in this world right now who's totally down for it, totally, built for it and cut out for it. And there's a place for everyone in this world. And I believe this world needs entertainers. And I said, I'll do it. And, I've been doing it now for a couple years, and I've made this decision to be a podcast host and to talk about my life experiences. And honestly, the reason why I've been successful and I've gotten this far, I've made this many episodes, is because I never doubted myself. I'll have those thoughts I just mentioned about what the fuck are you doing? But I never let it actually get to me to the point where I'm shutting off the camera and the microphone and I'm not doing it. Because there's something to be said about owning a choice and picking something in life and putting in repetitions over and over and over and over and over and over again. And there's something to be said about that. When you own that choice and you do that thing, you feel so fulfilled and good about yourself. And that's something, as someone who struggles with their self-esteem, and I've mentioned all the body image issues and the eating, and this whole episode's about that, right? But as someone who just in general is always I'm not good enough, which is a whole other topic. Picking something and sticking to it and writing it out week after week after week, builds so much confidence, and it really, makes you feel good about yourself, and you're actually doing something with your life and contributing to the world in a positive way. And it's substantial. I don't take, I reflect a lot about this podcast, as I'm podcasting, but it's that's a substantial amount of podcast, Jacqueline. Holy shit. Holy shit. This is episode 310. Shit. Okay. So high school. Oh my God. I'm not even talking about high school yet. So let's see. So I went to Catholic school. This has nothing to do. This is so not relevant, but I jumped from Catholic school to private school to public school in high school. And I didn't really I didn't really have a lot of friends outside of the kids I ran track and field with during middle school. Cause I I ran track for the public middle schools. Like somehow they allowed the private school kids to jump the fence and like go, like I literally jumped over a fence. I would leave, this is again not even relevant, but fun fact, I would leave band like 30 minutes early, and I'd go out to the field, jump the fence, and go to the track at the high school next door, and I'd run track with the public school. And those were my friends. So what I'm saying is I in high school, like the friends I started out with were those track and field kids. And oh my God, I just had this flashback right now to my band teacher. Literally the vibe. So he had Will Smith's vibe when he was saying, or his energy is like when Will Smith said, "Get my wife's name out of your fucking mouth." Like his rage and anger, like that kind of like quivering, like really upset tone is how my band teacher talked to us, and how he like lectured us. Like he was so intense and like angry and just like fucking pissed off all the time. And so yeah, when I had to leave class 30 minutes early, even though he signed off that it would be okay, every time I did it, he made me feel like he'd roll his eyes and it was just like, get out. He would literally be like, go. Like he'd look at me and I'd be in the front row because I was playing the flute, and he'd be like, go, get out. And I'd scurry out and I'd be all nervous. Jesus. Okay, so yeah, let's talk about like the main subject of the episode, Jacqueline. Body image, eating disorders, high school. So I was an athlete in high school. I was like super fit. Starting out like freshman, sophomore year, I was a state swimmer as a freshman. Oh my God, this coffee, I'm sorry. Disgusting. Bodily functions they don't happen very often on the show anymore. I used to burp on the mic like 10 times a podcast and just own it. Like I would literally tell people to like clip it. Like I want someone to go back to all my old episodes and clip my burps and just like, God, I was so wild. Things have really toned down. Maturity, growth, sanity, therapy, stable. I have a stable life now, and it's reflecting in the podcast, I think, right? Or do I sound unstable? What's your take? Guys, I just feel so good. Lately, I'm like whole as fuck and happy and just, yeah. So anyways, I swam, I played basketball, and I ran track. Things were pretty good freshman, sophomore year, but you know, my body started changing. I would go to the lunchroom. Oh my gosh, I do remember trying to go on a diet. This was probably the first time I officially went on a diet. So the week before homecoming, I distinctively remember, because I would eat pizza and ranch every single day in the lunchroom. Yeah, pizza, ranch, and then I'd go to the store and buy like 50-cent Mrs. Fields like cookies or whatever. They like freshly bake them, and that's like what I ate as a freshman. But I do remember the week before homecoming, all of a sudden, for like the first time, this was like beginning of school, like September, October, I only ate salad for a week. Just the salad from the salad bar. And I noticed, well, the reason I did it, because I was like, oh, well, when people eat salads on the TV shows I watch, like my mom eats a lot of salads and she's fit, like, oh, this is like what you do if you want to like get skinnier. So I ate salad for a week. I got into my homecoming dress and went to homecoming, and I just felt really like good in my body, and I was like, oh my gosh, that worked. Okay, so that was that. And I don't really remember freshman year like dabbling in dieting or anything like that, really. It was just kind of like, you know, I ate normal. I wasn't thinking about food all day. Shit hit the fan. I will say this. Shit hit the fan for me junior year when I went to my parents' CrossFit gym. And in the month of February, I remember this so well because this is when I lost a lot of weight for the first time. And I felt like I was like, oh my God, I'm skinny. I went to my parents' CrossFit gym and they did this February challenge where you ate paleo for 30 days. And I went, and they did like, the night I went, they did an educational seminar presentation about how to eat paleo. And I'm taking in all this information. I'm sitting there learning about like, oh, like no pasta, no bread, no processed sugar, no cookies. If you make a cookie, make it with coconut flour, like, you know. And I'm like I'm getting all this new information about paleo. And my parents kind of ate that way, because they had gone to CrossFit for, you know, a few years by then. But it wasn't like I wasn't doing that until I was like, oh, I'm going to do this challenge. I'm going to do this little February paleo challenge. 14 days in, February 14th, my family goes to the casino. Just follow along. We go to the casino for Valentine's Day as a family. We go to the, what's it called? Swinomish? No. God, what's it called? I don't live in Washington anymore. It's going out. It's the casino in, I can't say the name of the city either. Past Stanwood, north of Bellevue. There's a giant whale in the front of it. There's an outlet mall. What is that casino called? Tulalip? Is it the Tulalip? Oh my God, is it the Tulalip casino? Anyways, we go there for Valentine's Day as a family, and there was a buffet. And like, I was like, wait, I can't have the cheesecake. I'm on this paleo challenge. Oh my God. Like, I started having these thoughts about, oh my gosh, I can't eat that. I'm not supposed to eat that. Wait, like, you know, I'm at a buffet, there's everything. And I'm like in fear of grabbing the stuff I want to eat. And that was a very memorable day, or like moment, where I was like, oh, these are not good for you. And this is unhealthy and bad for your body, and you shouldn't eat it. But never in my life, honestly, up until then, did I ever see a buffet and think, oh my gosh, unhealthy, healthy, like these are bad foods, these are good foods, like these are clean, this is not clean eating. Like none of those, I never had those thoughts until that day. And it's because of this paleo challenge I was on. And, you know, so yeah, I don't really remember what I ended up playing up that night. I know we played this power. What did we play as a family? There was like numbers up on there was like a screen. You like pick a number, power something. I don't know. But, yeah, that was 14 days in, and I had 16 days left. 14. How many days are in February? Whatever. I was like halfway through at that point. So I guess by the end of the month, what I'll say is track and field started back up at that point. And I remember, this is so weird, but I still remember it. I remember I had these like three-quarter length leggings and this like cropped sports bra that was blue that I never really wore because I felt insecure about my stomach. And I was in line to do the warm-up, the dynamic warm-up thing we did in track like at the beginning of each practice. And I remember doing these, like, you hop off your left leg, you put your right arm up, you hop off your right leg, you put your left arm up, and you go back and forth. I remember doing that and feeling so light in my body and so healthy and so like, oh my God, I have so much energy, and I'm just so like, I'm so good at this. This is like, wow. I just felt different in my body. And so literally that moment and that season of track where I was like fit and like, you know, I had lost, like, I don't know. Guys, I was always like in high school, I'd say by my junior year, yeah, I filled up. I was probably pushing 160. Yeah, I was like, but the thing about my body, my genetics, is we have a lot of, we're muscly. And so like, if you looked at me at 160 and someone else at 160, you'd be like, oh, they're literally like really overweight. And then you look at me and you're like, oh, she's athletic and she's just like a little chubby, right? Like that's how I looked at 160. So anyways, I think I got down to like I'm only mentioning this because I'm trying to think of like how much weight I had actually lost and how that felt different. I think I got down to like 145 from zero processed food for a month, paleo, no carbs. Yeah, I think I lost 15 pounds. And so I remembered that diet, that 30-day diet for like the rest of my life, literally until like past college. I would always go back to like, yeah, I remember that one time in my junior year where I went on that paleo challenge, and like that's how I lost weight really quickly, and that worked. Like that stuck with me. Again, like while it is positive and while I agree with healthy eating, healthy living, exercise, watching your weight, while I am pro that, for whatever like it's hard to say this, but like sometimes like going on a diet and becoming aware of that kind of information just really fucked me up. And I think it, unfortunately, like some people, and here's another thing I'll mention. I think it's possible, because I literally, my sister's literally a national champion bodybuilder. Like she is down for all this kind of dieting stuff. It's like fine for her. She can like mentally like stomach it and not like, it's just part of, it's like her it's like a hobby, like weighing her food and all that stuff. Like I feel like some people like do well with like learning about diets and how to eat clean and fitness and exercise. Like some people do well with, and they're like excited about it and like, oh my gosh, yeah, woo, and it doesn't fuck them up. But for me it did, because this is where it gets dark, would always, after I lose weight or like go on a diet, I would always binge the fuck out and like gain all the weight back and feel like shit about my body for like another 6 months after, and then I go on another diet, and that's when the hamster wheel started. That's where I'm getting at here. The problem with dieting for me starting in high school was it started the hamster wheel, and I started looking at food as good and bad, and not exercising as, oh, you're bad, you didn't work out, like good, bad, black, white, healthy, unhealthy. And I became extreme. So I guess something else I'll mention about high school. That was my first diet, or my second diet, because I dieted for homecoming my freshman year or whatever. So weird how I just remember the little like salad box. It had like a lot of cheese on it. It was like keto for a week there. It was like lettuce, cheese, ranch, tomatoes. I didn't eat the croutons. Oh my God, I remember not eating the croutons. Somehow I knew not to do that. Something else I'll say about high school is I hated my body. I was so, I was like in the locker room all the time and looking around, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like I'm on the same team. I'm running the same lines as these bitches, and they're fucking hourglasses with big tits and like perfect little abs and like tight asses. Like I'm thinking this and I'm like, okay, like I just, these are my actual thoughts. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like I was like, oh my God, and then looking back, I'm like, Jacqueline, I was at the time living in a very chaotic household. My things were rough in the home and when I look back, I'm like, yeah, you would like go sit in your bedroom during high school and just like eat a lot and like sit and watch YouTube videos on your laptop and just kind of like cope with food. And like, I didn't ever really think about it. Like as I'm looking around the locker room, I'm like, oh, like it's Jacqueline, you're feeling like when you put your spandex on, I do distinctively remember this. In basketball, I'd wear basketball shorts, but underneath I'd wear spandex. When I put my spandex on, I'd always pull them up so high so I wouldn't get a bulge on the side of my like stomach on the side. Like, because if I always notice, like, if I bent over and you could like, and I tucked my jersey and you would see the bulge. So I pulled them up a certain way. It was like, I literally was like wearing Spanx under my basketball shorts. Like, I'd find the smallest, tightest spandex as possible. But yeah, like, you know, I'm sure, like, I'm around like tons of other women in the locker room all the time. It's like, they're probably struggling with something else with their food and body too, but they just happen to look good in my eyes. And I was always jealous, or just like, what the fuck? I wish I looked like you. And, you know, those are kind of my thoughts. I was always just kind of dumpy. I was always kind of dumpy about myself and just like, ugh, I'm gross. Like, ugh. And the truth is, I didn't date any boys in high school because all the guys I wanted to date and all the guys I was actually attracted to had girlfriends, and like all of their girlfriends were my friends, and they were all like on the team. So like, that just always fucked with me too. I'm like, oh, they don't want me. They want they want my friends. And yeah. So I just felt like, yeah, gross and just dumpy and just like, ugh, and chubby and awkward. And, yeah. So where do I transition? So that was high school. Being at home, chaos, just trying to like escape. And then I'd sit in my room with like, what did I even eat? I just would make a lot of quesadillas, I think. I think quesadillas were my binging food, or like my overeating food, because it was easy. You just like pop a bunch of tortillas and cheese in the microwave, and you just like, I put barbecue sauce and ranch on the side. And then ice cream. Oh my God, I could literally eat, from a young age, I could eat an entire like box of ice cream back when they had the fucking boxes in the grocery store. Like I could eat a lot. I've always been able to. And like, I like feeling, I think, I don't know if this is genetic, but like, I think I was around a lot of overeating growing up, and just like a lot of my whole extended family, everyone around me, just like food was always like the way we bonded with each other, which is, you know, that's normal. That's good in every culture. I feel like people do that, but, health wasn't like, I mean, it seemed like there was a lot of like weight and obesity and like health, a lack of health around me in my surrounding family, except for like a few people. And my mom was probably, she's always been fit. She's always been that way. She was kind of my like female example of fitness or health growing up, I guess, which is positive. Like, it's good. And I really don't think, because I'm sure maybe someone listening's like, well, did your mom affect you because of her? She was always fit and into health. It's like, my mom didn't directly affect my body image and how my mom, not at all. Like, when I really think about it, I think it was more like outside, like media, people at school, you know, what I'd see in magazines and the shows I'd watch. And, you know, if anything, and my mom and I have talked about this at length, I think we grew up really healthy. Like, my mom would never, well, like, we'd have occasional treats, which is like good, right? We'd have like pizza night or, you know, ice cream night, but we never had like Gushers and shit in the pantry, and like chips, like the mini bags of chips kids would have in their lunch boxes, or like pudding packs, or like, we didn't have, like, sometimes we would, but for the most part, like, I'm eating carrots and plain apples, and the treat would be like corn chips with salsa, like, and a sandwich, like a really hearty whole grain bread sandwich with like sprouts, and like just super healthy, and like, you know, no cheese, probably, maybe cheese, I don't know, but like those were my lunches, just very wholesome, basic, no processed junk food in the household. And so what I've talked about my mom is, or talked to my mom about, is how when I would go to my friend's house growing up, like all of my friends' pantries were like Disneyland for me. I was like, oh my God, I just want to come over to your house to eat the snacks. and one of my best friends, like her basement had a freezer, and I remember just wanting the ice cream sandwiches. Like every time I came over, I wanted the ice cream sandwiches. They were actually they were Weight Watchers, I think, or like, yeah, Weight Watchers or something, or Skinny Cow that her mom ate. But I would only want the ice cream sandwiches when I showed up. Like first thing is the ice cream sandwiches, and then later we're making spinach ravioli from Costco, which I still fucking, that's like the most nostalgic food for me. Because I would go to her house just to eat the ravioli. The Costco ravioli. So what happened was, yeah, I'd be out of my own home at other people's homes, and I'd just like be focused. I'd be hyper focused on like what are the good, like the food, because it wasn't constantly provided in my household. It wasn't like an option. And when it was an option, it was like a treat or like a special occasion. So I think for me, looking back, it may have been helpful if my parents stocked everything, tons of healthy food, tons of unhealthy food. So I had the option, and I could intuitively like go, okay, do I want the healthy choice right now or the unhealthy? You know, I think that's preached and that's advised. But it's also like a DNA thing, a genetic thing, a individual thing, where like I just happen to be that kind of kid who who looking back probably needed a like more diverse variety of things in the pantry under the umbrella of healthy and unhealthy. Because I'm sure there's kids growing up now like 100% raw vegan, and they're just chilling, and they're like telling their friends at school to do it too, and they're not even affected, and they like roll their eyes if they see gushers and shit, you know. So it's just me. It's just how I worked. It's how I evolved as a kid. It's what happened. But I think long term, pieces of my childhood and my experiences around food like affected me when I was older and started, you know, caring more about my body because of dating boys, and just like, you know, social media started and taking pictures of myself all the time. Like that was another thing, like Facebook and like Facebook photos, and going on people's albums and like they'd all go to the lake, and all the girls in their bikinis would like be jumping off cliffs and stuff, and I never felt secure enough to do that, so I would never go. Just like the life I fucking missed out on because of my own body image and eating disorder shit. It just sucks. So yeah, that's kind of what it is. I feel like a lot of people talk about it, but like you literally, like looking back, you're like, I was so insecure and so concerned about my appearance that I wouldn't do things, and I wouldn't participate in fun activities in life, in like important life events, like going cliff jumping in high school with your friends. Like that sucks, and I can say that now. Like it fucking sucks, and I don't regret my life. I do regret this shit I missed out on. Should I talk about college now? This is like long. I guess I could kind of accelerate this part. So, where do I start? Okay, so college was interesting. I lived with my parents for the first 2 years, and I went to community college, and I worked in retail. And at the time, my parents were going through a divorce, or like that's when it happened. So I was like, this is like 18, 19, yeah, 20, 18, 19. And it was probably one of the like hardest, saddest times in my life, because, you know, you all you knew until then is your two parents are together, and then all of a sudden you're like 20, and then they decide to divorce, and you're like, okay, well, that's not what I expected, or like life is going to look really different now, and whoa, Christmases are not going to be the same, and you know, it's kind of like it's like a death in a way, or it's like it's not a death, but a death of the family, just like a total sideswipe where all of a sudden life's going this way and then poof, divorce, family splits up, things are never going to be the same. So yeah, that was really hard. And fucking, I didn't even mention this. My mom got breast cancer in high school. Was it my senior year? And maybe subconsciously, like, I used, because I didn't really get into like how I mentioned like sitting in my bedroom eating and just like vegging out and coping with the chaos in the household with food and watching YouTube videos. But like, I think that was I was affected by that, and I was probably turning to food and stuff because my mom's like bald, going through chemo, getting a mastectomy, like getting radiation, she's got like, I don't know, like 13 surgeries in 1 year. She's like, so sick. Like, yeah, I was going through that in high school. So that probably affected or influenced how I was like using I haven't said this yet, but like I literally, food is, I was a food addict, or like, I use food like a drug. I totally did. Look, like that's what it is. And what's interesting about eating disorders is that it looks different on everyone. Just because I say I struggle with eating disorders, and I had multiple, different times. It doesn't mean that I never was like anorexic where I technically I had a phase of anorexia, but I never was like starving myself and not eating. It was always like starving myself for multiple days or like weeks at a time and then binging. So I was like, so my body never got really like skeletal and tiny in that way. So I used food. It was like a drug, straight up. It's like what I did when I ate when I was sad. I ate my feelings. That's what I did. Oh my gosh, why is it taking me this long in the episode to get to that point of saying, or get to the part of the story or whatever of me saying? Food was, I emotionally ate, straight up. So college was hard at the beginning, living at home when things were rough. That's when Instagram started, guys. So I got an Instagram when I was a freshman in college and reapplying lip gloss. It's that part of the episode. And up until that point, it's like you're just posting Facebook albums, you're not taking like individual selfies. So I was just following like, I think I instantly followed all the Kardashians or whatever. And I'm like, oh, I'm just like copying what they're posting. I'm posting selfies too. Like I'm just doing this thing. And, you start to, that's when you're like, okay, the filter makes me look better. But what am I saying? As someone who already had body image issues, and then you download Instagram, it's like, okay, that's just like gonna make it worse, but you didn't know that at the time. So anyways, college. Let's talk about body image, working out. That's when I started. So I went throughout high school playing sports. That's what kept me, fit, and that's how I was active. And I also went to CrossFit on the side with my parents. And then in college, I discovered like, okay, the gym, like going to the gym and working out at the gym. And me and my friend, who's like, I think at the time she's still 10 years older than me, but she lived and worked in my hometown while I was going to community college, and we befriended each other I became friends with her through CrossFit. And then what would happen is, we like became friends where we would meet up at the gym at like 7 a.m. Before I go to class, I'd work out with her. And so I got on this like kick, like fitness kick. And, I got really fit, like for the first time. Probably the fittest I've ever been. And, I don't even know what I was like consuming content wise at the time. Probably just like, I think, were fitness influencers a thing yet? Probably not. I don't know. Like, I was just being like, it was good. I think I was in a good place with fitness and dieting or whatever, just eating healthy. I kind of did the paleo thing all the time. And yeah, I think that routine of going to the gym is what kept me like healthy and everything. But when did shit hit the fan? So here's where shit hit the fan. Oh my God. Oh my God. So guys, okay. Oh my God. This is where it gets kind of just like, when I look back, I'm like, whoa, these were dark moments. So while I lived at home, I went to college and worked in retail. I also house sitted on the side. And this is when my first binge eating disorder episode started, because here I am babysitting someone's house with all the food available to me in the world. Like, it's like full on pantries, full on fridges and freezers. Oh my God. This is why I didn't want to talk about it, because it instantly makes me feel like a fucking gluttonous pig. But it's very real. And this is like an actual, like, this is a thing. This is what people do, where you literally black out and you eat everything in sight, and then afterwards you're like, literally feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack, and I feel like shit, and how did I just eat all that? And you like, it's like a blackout. And I had those first experiences with food, or those first binge eating experiences with food while I house sat my first 2 years of college. So God, I remember my aunt and uncle, they had they don't know this. I don't even know. Hi, if you're listening. So the first time this was like, I had a bad episode. Or my first episode was, I was house sitting for my aunt and uncle, and I'm like, oh my God, they have everything. Like, I don't have this in my house. Okay, typical. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna make a quesadilla. So I like made a quesadilla. And I don't know what happened, but like one thing led to another, and I had like a couple quesadillas. And then at one point, I'm like making pancakes, but like mini pancakes on their griddle. Like, I whipped out their griddle, got some Bisquick, and made mini pancakes. And then I put like, they had like multiple flavors of chocolate chips, and then I put like white chocolate, dark chocolate, and butterscotch chocolate chips on the mini pancakes. Just, I feel disgusting, but I'm gonna talk. This is like facing a fear, so I'm gonna talk about it, because I still remember it. It was like such a vivid experience, or vivid, like formative time in my life when I look back. And I like ate the little mini pancakes and like watched. What did I watch on TV? I was watching The Wizard of Oz. Yeah, I do remember this so well. They had a little corn dog, what kind of dog? A wiener dog, and a cat. I'm eating the mini pancakes, and then like I just had 2 quesadillas, maybe like a full plate of little mini pancakes with chocolate chips, and I'm like, oh my God, they got ice cream in the freezer. So then the next thing I know, I'm sitting in front of the TV with a cup, like bowl of ice cream, potato chips, like hot fudge, like peanut M&Ms, maybe some pretzels. I don't know. It was just like a lot of shit in a bowl with ice cream, like a lot of junk food, and it was just a lot. And I just couldn't stop eating it. And then I would go back for seconds, and then I think I made a quesadilla again or something. I ate so much in one sitting, and that was the first time where I was like, oh my God, what just happened? And I got scared. I was like, wait, what was that? I felt so out of control of my body. And yeah, and then that was, God, and they got me these like gift cards to go buy my own I think that's how they paid me. Gift cards to the grocery store. For some reason, that's how they paid me. I think it was like $60. So what I fucking did was I replenished the food I had eaten. And after like the day before they came home, I'd go to the grocery store and like restock, and I would keep track of everything I was eating up. This is an actual, like, when I talk about this is not normal, and not this is like addict behavior, right? Yeah. So, I mean, people binge drink alcohol, I binge ate food. And like people do hard drugs and do a lot of them, like and overdose and, or, you know, go deep with the drugs. Like it's all the same thing. It does the same thing to your brain, right? My thing though was like numbing, filling the void. It's all about like what was I doing? I was filling my body as full as possible to like numb myself. So I felt some sort of like, it's like, it all comes down to, I mean, your stomach's, I've seen people talk about this, like your stomach's next to your heart, and it's just like pushing, that food pushing on your heart just makes you feel a little love or something. It's kind of dark, but like something like that. I should probably, I don't want to bring therapy into the mix and talk about what my therapist has told me, because it's like, it's like, it's unique to me, so I don't want to tell you what she told me, I guess, or like, I guess that's helpful, but it's kind of along those lines as far as like what binging was doing for me. It's like, yeah, it's similar to any old addiction. But again, it's like, what at the time I was going to the gym with my friend and doing a ton of cardio and like working out really hard all the time and eating really clean. And so it's like, boom, junk food, binge. And that was the hamster wheel I was on. It was like, eat healthy for like an extended period of time, binge, eat healthy for an extended period of time, binge, boom, boom. So that was what happened. That was my eating disorder. It was binge eating disorder. It turned into bulimia. And then I'd say when I moved to San Diego, my first year here, total orthorexic, semi-anorexic. So yeah, we'll get there. This might be a long one. So I house sat maybe 10 times throughout those first couple years of college, and every time it would happen. And I would try so hard not to binge on food in these people's houses, and I would try to eat, like some nights I'd be like, I'm eating normal. I'm just eating enough for dinner. That's it. Maybe I'll have a dessert after. And then it was just like, no. And then they baked me cookies they left on the counter. Fuck, I'm gonna eat the whole plate. And then I couldn't stop eating them. And it's just like, I had no breaks, and no skills or no tools in my toolbox. And self-love, baby. Like that's what I was missing. What it really comes down to, if I truly loved myself to my core, I would have cared more about how I felt and how I then make myself sick with food. Like that's what it really comes down to. And I'm at home, I'm living with my parents, they're getting a divorce, I'm depressed, I don't have a lot of friends because all my friends from high school went off to college, and here I am in my hometown still. I'm just not feeling good about my life, and I was struggling in school. Like I barely made it through my first semester in college, and yeah, so no wonder, you know, it's like, fuck, shit happens. That's what happened to me. So moving on, I can't believe I'm really saying everything today. This is like all the stuff I've kept to myself, my dirty little secrets. So like I've talked about studying abroad. I went to London. Woo! Study abroad. So much fun. So between going to my final 2 years of college, I went to a study abroad program, like a summer study abroad. And I was okay. Like I did okay as far as like food and exercise went. Like I was pretty normal, but then towards the end, I don't know what the fuck happened, but I discovered these Waitrose. Oh my God, so specific. These like the last week of class, I had like the worst binges of my life where I would have to, and here's why. Oh my gosh. The thing that set this off in college for me, and this happened in the last 2 years, is if I had to write a paper, if I had to finish homework, for some reason, like the inertia or whatever, like I would get so overwhelmed and I'd procrastinate so much, and then I'd be overwhelmed that I procrastinated. So then I would like, in order for me to even start something, I'd have to be so sick of food before I could put my fingers on the keyboard. Like that's how I started assignments, because I just like fucking didn't want to do it, or I was just like, oh my gosh, I only have like one night to finish this. So I'd like freak out and eat a bunch of food, and then I'd start, you know, getting my work done. So that was the habit. That was like the thing that set it off was fucking homework. Fuck that. God damn it. I had to turn in papers. That's, you know, I got my degree. It all worked out, but if I didn't go to school, would I have issues? Would I have an eating disorder? No, of course I would have. It was always going to happen. It's just part of my life story. It's just part of, you know, what makes me me, and whatever. Taught me a lot of lessons, and I'm grateful for it all. But yeah, the last week of that study abroad, I remember like going to Waitrose, which is this grocery store next to my dorm, and buying a tub of these like shortbread bars with like, they were just like these little mini shortbread bars, and I eat the whole tub. I'd eat the whole tub, and then I'd go write my 1,000-word report on fucking Wimbledon. Like I was going to, it was so sick. I went to these like events, sporting events, arts, like plays, shows, ballets. I went to a cricket match, and I'd have to, because I was doing a journalism study abroad, and I'd have to turn over a paper like a journalist, like overnight, like write it for the next morning to like get printed. So yeah, I would like eat a tub of these fucking shortbread things, and then I'd like write my paper, and I'd feel like shit. And I think I'd do that. I just like binged out that last week. And I remember what sucked is, oh, you know, I was going out with people, having fun for the whole time. Like I was even running. So the thing about my exercise routine there is it was so fun. I was running from my dorm in Russell Square to the top of Primrose Hill every single morning. And I'd run through the city by myself and like blast music. And I was just normal, like healthy, fit, like doing a workout, like a morning workout, which is totally like, you know, that wasn't obsessive or anything. It was just like normal. And I was eating healthy. I was like getting wraps with my friend, Bren. She was like my bestie on my trip, and we were getting these like wraps and salads all the time, and just like eating smoothies or drinking smoothies. And, you know, it was like everything was fine up until that last week. And, again, it's like health, super healthy, and then binge. But the part I want to mention that sucked is that last week there was like final week events and like outings, and I remember like all the girls, they all got cute to go out and like club or something like that, and I felt so sick and fat, and like I was just so like disgusted with myself. I couldn't go out with them. Like I couldn't go enjoy that last week with them because I just felt so gross, because I was like, yeah, like in my little dorm room, like eating fucking shortbread. Like what the fuck? Again, it's like a drug addiction. But it's food. And then the last day, it was just like I was numbed out from the whole week. I just felt like shit, and I had to get back on a flight. Or no, my aunts visited me. We stayed longer. I forgot about that. Yeah, they came and visited me. But yeah, it's just like, god damn it, you know. Here I am, time of my life in London, and then things are going so well, and then something in my brain just had to binge on food. And it's like, again, I think the catalyst or whatever, or the thing that set it off was always the homework, the paper I needed to turn in the next day. I kind of think, and something that I haven't mentioned, or I researched at one point about this, because I'm like, what's going on with me? I didn't go to a therapist at the time. I wasn't telling my parents about this. Nobody knew. Literally no one knew. I don't even remember the first time I told my mom, but it was way later. It was maybe like after college. Yeah. I remember one time researching binge eating disorder, because I like Googled what I was doing, and that came up. So I like self-diagnosed, and ADHD. and there was like a link there, because you know how I mentioned having to do a paper and procrastinating and then binging and then doing the paper. That kind of, from what I read, like that kind of behavior pattern is a symptom of like having ADHD, and a lot of people that binge eat also have ADHD. Again, I went a different route as far as like how I overcame it all, and I didn't, get on Adderall or anything, like I didn't get help. I just kind of trialed and errored it until now where everything's good, but with some therapy along the way at the end here the last couple years. But I was always kind of like, oh, maybe it's just like how I have a very, like, my brain is it needs that stimulation. I don't know how it works, but that link came up and I was like, oh, that's interesting. So then I get to college. I went to Washington State, and I'm trying to think this through. Where was I at with, like, is this getting long? I think it's getting long, but you know what? I've never talked about this before, so we're just gonna get it all off my chest today. In college is when the exercise addiction started for real, like intense, like working out at 5 a.m. and then going back at 5 p.m. after class and working out again, because it was all about looking hot. Okay. All I gave a fuck about in college was looking hot. So when I went to the parties with the football players, they thought I was hot, and they would, so like that's what college was. It was like go out, drink, find a football player. Sorry, Mom. And so I was it's just like all I gave a fuck about. And so I would be at the gym all the time. I'd eat egg whites around the clock with spinach, and I was vegan at one point in college. But again, extremes. I was so workout obsessed, and then I'd eat super healthy all week, and then I'd go out on the weekends and binge drink, and then like some nights, like my friends we'd all like come home drunk, and then you'd like drunkenly binge on all this pizza and like breadsticks or whatever. And like I would overdo it though. Like I would sometimes go home alone. Like this is what's fucked, is like the amount of times I would like dip the friend group to go eat my own pizza at home drunk at 2 a.m. You know what I mean? Like that was kind of that's the disgusting part, or the thing I felt most disgusted by about myself. Like, Jacqueline, I was like, Jacqueline, you're so fucked up. You're literally like, you'd rather go home and sit in because I had my own apartment in college. You'd rather go like sit and like be by yourself and eat your own pizza drunk than like be with your friends and like finish the night off with them. I did that. I mean, not every time, but the times I did, I just felt like, oh my God. And then I'll be honest, like some nights I'd overdo it with the pizza, because it was always pizza. Like it was always fucking Domino's in college, right? Like that's what was delivered at that time of day. The darkest moment I think I experienced with binging was, I don't even think I was drinking that night and going out. I think it was just like a Saturday night. Maybe I was doing homework and I was just fucking stressed. Yeah, I ate so much that I thought I was gonna die. And like I thought my heart's gonna burst. And I could barely, I was like hearing my breathing, and I was like, oh my God. And I thought, oh my God, I need to get this out of my body. So I got my toothbrush, and if you probably know where this is going. I tried to throw it up and I couldn't, because I actually don't have a gag reflex. I know a lot of women say that about themselves for fun, but I literally I can't throw up. I cannot make myself throw up. I shoved that toothbrush so hard on my, what's it called? The back of my throat. Because I'm like, oh, this is like how people are bulimic, right? They throw their shit up and they use like their finger or toothbrush. Nope, couldn't do it. And that was making my heart race even more because I'm like trying to throw up. Guys, this is probably the darkest part of the episode, just letting you know. It's probably as dark as it gets. So yeah, I was like, oh my God, I couldn't even, I was so disgusted with myself as it was. And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm trying to throw it up now. This is who I'm not, what are you doing? Jacqueline, you need help. Like, this is not good. Still kept it to myself. I think my ego, honest to God, I'll sum things up by saying this, or I'm not summing it up. This episode's still going. I think I had such a big fucking ego about myself that I never wanted anyone to know this, because I portrayed myself like I always had it together and I was fit and healthy. Like, you would always see me in the gym. You would, if you're my friend, you would see me eat healthy all the time. And like, you know, that was my outward facing appearance, or whatever, my personality, my image. And so I was so I just never, this was like the secret I kept. I was like, I never want anyone to know this, because it's disgusting. It's food. It's eating so much. It's eating enough food for like 5 football players in one sitting by yourself, and you're a college aged girl. Like, so, yeah, that was probably the lowest it got, darkest it got, when I'm like trying to throw it up, feeling like I'm going to die because my heart hurts so bad, or it's like pounding so hard and I'm breathing hard. And I do remember anytime I binged, I don't know if this is hitting home with anyone. Like, I don't know who I'm speaking to right now, if you've struggled with the same types of things, but every fucking time I would binge eat, the next day I'd wake up and like my body would hurt to the touch. Like, my neck would hurt, my everything, any part. If I just poked my arm, it would like hurt and sting. I don't know what that was, but that was the result of like eating too many calories, is like the pain the next day. And yeah, so I'm trying to think if there's any other details in college that I can mention. Yeah, I was vegan, raw vegan for like 6 months, didn't drink coffee. Oh, I really liked having a long distance relationship with my boyfriend in England, or he lived in Ohio. He was a soccer player in Ohio, but he was British when I was saying England. That's where he's from. But I really liked that relationship because it allowed me to like do my dirty little habits with my food all the time without having to be around him. And then like, if we were, you know, the few weeks before we flew to each other, I would like get in shape again. So it's like I was doing it for him. It was always for a man. It was always, that's the thing. The only reason, when I really think about it, the only reason I cared so much about how I looked and how fit I was because of male validation, straight up. Boyfriends, random guys I'm dating or hooking up with, like, that was it. It was never like, oh, I'm doing this for me. And even if I said that deep down, I'm like, no, I want to look hot for men. Because it's, you know, it's kind of all you got as a woman these days. Your appearance. It's all that matters. You're an object. Kidding. But there's something to that, you know? Like, what drives women to be so on the hamster wheel of dieting and exercising? Like, it's kind of, so I'm saying, you know, I used to do it for men, and now it's just like, now I'm just like, God, life is so beautiful because I have built such a or have developed such a good relationship with myself through the last couple years podcasting and sitting alone in my apartment talking things out, that I am like unshakable in my self-love and my how much I value my body and soul and mind and like happiness and peace. And it's just like, I there's nothing, I don't want to fuck this up. And it's like, no, how do I say this? Yeah, I would never do the same things I used to do with like food and obsessive exercise and clean eating, because like where it's like an addiction, because it's like I love myself, and my soul's tired of that now. It's like I won't allow that into my life anymore. And so yeah. So did I finish college? I think I did, right? Oh, I was mentioning how I did everything for male validation, or that's the reason why I cared so much about being skinny all the time. That's another thing. I was always like wishing I was skinny. Like I was literally trying to disappear. I swear to God. Like it never happened. Like I never got that rail thin, but like that was always the goal. It was like, get as small as possible. Be tiny, be thin, be thin. So it's like I was battling my genetics, because like I mentioned in the beginning, like I'm naturally a brick shit house. Like I'm just naturally muscular and athletic. I have an athletic build. I have round muscles, and I'm broad. I have broad shoulders. Like I was always fighting my genetics, like wishing I could be this like petite, naturally long-legged, thin person that I wasn't. And I wasn't loving I wasn't working with what I got, you know? And that's what, I just hated myself so much. I cannot believe I literally just like fucking hated myself. I was just always just like, ugh. And God forbid anyone take a picture of me without, like, oh my God. I was mortified by any group photos. Anytime someone took a photo of me, I would yell at my mom to like delete photos off her camera roll of like family trips, because I hated how I looked. It was so, again, like this is so stupid. Like who gives a fuck? Like now, if you like, honestly, like I'm sure a lot of you are regular listeners at this point, but like you get how, or if you see how I am now, like I literally am just like, I just don't, this type of thing doesn't matter to me anymore. And it's like I don't I'm not so like wrapped up in my aesthetics and like how I look, my body anymore. Like it just like, again, love yourself, okay? I don't know. Let's get to San Diego, bitches, okay? Because I moved here in 2018, and I was at my absolute fittest ever. I was so like six pack, like tight. I was workout bunny at that point. Clean eating, workout bunny. I had started, so that's when I started my yoga journey. Okay, I joined a hot yoga studio, and I did hot yoga like every single day for 6 months. Literally, like I do it 7 days a week, and I got shredded as fuck. And I was like, oh my God, I feel so good. I'm bouncing off the walls. I'm like glowing all the time because I've just like I just did hot yoga. Like I was like, whoa, yeah, woo, fitness. I'm healthy. Ooh, I'm tiny. Like I got really small. So I mentioned in high school I was like 160 pounds. The lowest I got to, I'm just saying the numbers because I'm just like, who gives a fuck? It's just a number. It's just data. That's how I look at weight. And like, I don't think of like weight as like, oh, that's too much, or it's like you're too small, or like it's bad, it's good. Nothing's better. It's just data. It's information. I'm neutral. I was like pushing 160 in high school, right? I mentioned, and now when I moved to San Diego, I was like down to like under 130. Okay, that's a lot of weight off my bod. Yeah, hot yoga. I was running a lot outside and like little shorts and sports bras. I was like feeling so confident, and I was so honestly fucking happy. That's one thing I've struggled with admitting, is while I was just eating vegetables and meat around the clock and like apples and like black coffee and like no processed carbs and like no treats very occasionally. Like I went to dinner with my brother a couple times. I remember this, and we got like Thai food. I was like eating noodles for the first time in like months. So very rarely would I eat anything that was like not vegetables, meat. And I felt so fucking good. I was like fit. I was tight. I was like, that's what sucks to, it's like hard to, I just thought about this the other day too. I'm like, it's like hard to admit because that, yes, you were healthy. Like I had a really good paint job, man. I was looking better than I've ever looked in my life. And I was feeling better than I've ever felt in my life. But it became orthorexia, okay? It became, I was terrified of unhealthy food. And like, I literally would like, I would be scared to eat anything that wasn't quote unquote clean. And I was obsessive. And I was like, trying to become as clean and healthy as physically fucking possible, where like the more green vegetables I ate and the more like grass-fed, lean, whatever, grass-finished organic meat I ate, and like fresh tuna and like clean food or whatever. And it's not even, it's like mercury, bitch. I don't even know what I'm saying. Like I was just like obsessive to the point where I was like trying to become this like perfect specimen, clean vessel of myself. And yes, I felt fucking amazing. I had so much energy. I wanted to frolic around in a bikini here all the time when I first moved to San Diego because I never felt so good in a bikini in my life. And yeah, but at the end of the day, it was obsessive. It was an addiction. It was just like the polar opposite of binging. It was like, oh, and now you're just going to be obsessively healthy and obsessively, or it was like overeating healthy food, if that's even fucking possible. I know people listening right now are like, Jacqueline, that's a good thing. No, not when it's fucking with your head, okay? It all comes down to how do you feel? How do you, when you're sitting down with yourself, like, are you good up here? No, I wasn't, because all I gave a fuck about was working out and eating healthy. That's all I had going for myself. That's it. And you guys, something I haven't mentioned is I'll just get this out right now, is I was in a relationship during my first year in San Diego, where I felt like I was really, the only reason I was really there was for my body and how I looked. Like that's kind of the only thing he gave a fuck about. And like kind of would comment on my body a lot and body shame me a lot and like make me aware of my body in ways I never thought about before. And here I am at my lowest, at my tiniest I've ever been, like eating so healthy and still thinking I'm not good enough. I'm not small enough for him. I'm not fit enough. Like it wasn't, there was like praise and critique here. And then the psychotic part for me, the thing that really messed with my head was this fucking womanizer of a man I dated. I'll say it. I'm just saying it, fuck it, would show me, and I'm what, 23? He would like show me pictures of his exes and like girls on Instagram all the time and like comment on how he, like, I remember one time he showed me a picture of his ex, and he was like, look at her tight little ass and like tight little body, and then she was like literally like 100 pounds when she was teeny, and I'm like, oh, that's what he likes. Oh my god, like I don't look like her, like I'm still, you know, athletic build, like muscly Jacqueline, and here's a little like teeny girl he's showing me. And like on Instagram he would do the same thing. And at the time, and I've never mentioned this, but why am I airing it all out today? I don't know what's going on. This is juicy. I was at that age in my 20s, so I was 23, where I was like so open and like ready to just do whatever, and I was like super spontaneous and like, oh, like for some reason I was like okay with him. Like we had a thing where we would like go and like if I saw like a picture of a hot girl on Instagram, or like he did, and we'd like talk about girls on Instagram together and like, oh, she's hot, or like her, she's such a good body and stuff, like. And he was in the body business, so it's like kind of like in the health, it was like fitness, you know. And so it was just kind of like part of the relationship where it was like super body focused all the time. And yeah, it really fucked me up. And honestly, it got really psychologically abusive, and you know, it took a turn where I'd say I became kind of anorexic, kind of, meaning like not full on, but I would like protest by not eating. Like if he pissed me off, if he was mean to me or something, or made me feel like a piece of dirt, I would like not sit at dinner with him and not eat dinner. I would skip eating a lot. We go out to dinner, I wouldn't eat, I wouldn't order anything. And I've always felt like the thing I will go back to during this time, and the feeling I had in my body was a constant state of just like anxious and afraid, and I didn't feel like, I always felt like he was gonna leave, or I was gonna have to get out, or like something like that was gonna happen. Like I never felt safe. I never felt yeah. And so yes, of course, I'm no longer with this person in any way, shape, or form, but that fucked me up because of it's crazy to look back now. I let this man influence me so much. It was like he manipulated me so much, especially about like how I thought about my body. Like I was kind of down for it too. I'm like, oh yeah, like I could fix this and that and that. Yeah. It was so formative at that time in my life. And so like I'm in a new state. I don't know anyone. I just want to be spontaneous and like frolic around and just like live my best life and be young and be hot and like da da da. And it, long term, when I left that situation, I remember walking out into the world on the day I did it and literally thinking in my head, I don't know who I am. That was the first thought when I drove away. Because the girl I was, Jacqueline pre-San Diego, I was like in a really good place. You know, I was excited about California. It was like my dream to move here someday. And a year into it, I walk out of that situation and I say to myself, I don't know who I am. So is this a 3-hour episode? Is this a fucking Rogan episode? Holy shit. Let me drink some water. I almost got teary-eyed there. So that was 2019. I walked away. 2019, 20. So I'd say the whole year after that, it was like all about finding myself again. Okay. And that was a journey. And, you know, I had my own little apartment by myself. I got out. I was like living alone at that point. And then boom, the pandemic happened. Okay. Let's get to the part where I gained 25 pounds. Woo! Okay. So this is a fun episode. Talking about heavy stuff that's not a big deal when you really think about it, and everyone has shit that they deal with, and I'm not special, and this is just part of life. So here we are. Actually, what fucked me up before the pandemic hit, I just remember this. I was dating this guy who I don't want to get into it. He was just like fit. He was like total Chad, like bro, like fitness. And I remember that guy making me also feel like, because guys, I'm just such a girl. Like I'm an FBI agent. I know everyone you've ever dated because of Instagram. Like I saw his exes. I was like, oh my God, Jesus Christ, blonde Barbie bombshell, blonde Barbie bombshell, blonde Barbie bombshell. Why is he dating me? Fun fact, he went back to his blonde Barbie bombshell after we broke up, and we weren't really like dating, you know. It was like it was, you know, like every fucking millennial out there right now listening knows, it's a situationship. And anyways, long story short, they got married. He went back to the girl he was dating before me and got married. Same with the guy I walked away from. He fucking married someone like 3 months later. So that he had known for like 3 months. So that's just great. So, what am I saying? Pandemic hit. I just moved to my apartment here in downtown San Diego. At this point, I don't have a dog. It's just me and my apartment. And yeah, it was so, you guys all remember that time in March. Like, it was scary. I mean, we didn't really know which way it was going to go. Like, everybody dies or everybody lives, or like some of us do, some of us don't. Like, is it going to be like a mass death situation? Like, half the population gets wiped out. We didn't know, right? So, you know, that was high anxiety at the time. I was nervous to touch, like, after I went to the grocery store, I'd like spray my stuff down. You know, I was nervous about surfaces and germs. And anyways, so I didn't have a job at the time, so that affected the situation a lot, because I was just like living the 24 hours of my day like on my couch, just kind of like talking to my parents on the phone for hours at a time, and like trying to like, you know, figure out what's going on. And I take a lot of walks, and I was just kind of like in this like blur with life where every day was the same, and I didn't really know what was going on, and I didn't have a job, right? And so what am I saying? So throughout that year, I'd say from March, April, May, June, July, 5 months is when I packed on the weight from my gym got shut down, so I didn't go to the gym. That was a huge issue, or a huge reason probably why I gained weight. Yes, it was. But I was literally just like, not necessarily, the thing that's weird is I wasn't like having binge eating episodes, because up until that point I was going to the gym all the time. I was pretty normal and like stable as far as like diet goes and like food issues went. Like, I didn't really have any for some reason. So when the pandemic hit, it wasn't that I was like binging on food like I had done in the way past in college, and then I went to San Diego, and then it was like only healthy food. It was like I was just overeating. Like, I would just like order a lot of food and just like sit and eat it and watch shows like Tiger King and like The Last Dance, the Michael Jordan documentary. And what else were we watching then? You know, and I was just kind of like vegging out all the time, right? And packing on weight. And the thing that also happened was I was like, okay, I know this is kind of like, I feel gross. Like, Jacqueline, like, come on. So I, you know, pulled the reins back, right? And I'm doing like intense, I remember this 45-minute HIIT workout that was in like Vietnam or something. I don't even know where it was. It was like not in this country. It was like live streamed on YouTube, and I was doing it every single day to get those endorphins, to try to feel good and to like, you know, try to get my fitness up, because I didn't have the gym, and I was kind of eating like shit for a while there for like the first month of the pandemic. And what was crazy, and this happened for the first time in my life, is instead of working out really hard and feeling those endorphins after and feeling great and feeling like healthy and energized, no amount of exercise, no amount of sweating it out in the morning when I woke up, you know, at home instead of going to the gym, no amount of that was making me feel good. I started getting, something happened where I was like, I was so depressed all the time, and it was like fitness wasn't working, working out wasn't working. And it's like I would go and buy my groceries, and I get my regular food at Trader Joe's, my healthy food. And I remember even doing like, I was trying to do YouTube at the time. Okay, that was strange. I like a vlogger. I would like do Trader Joe's hauls, and I had like, you know, all my healthy food and stuff, and I was working out, eating healthy, right? Like typical Jacqueline. But for some reason I was just so blah. One note, just like, no. I was just sad for no reason. Every day I'd wake up and I'm just like staring at my ceiling, and I'm like, what's the point? Like, what am I doing? I have nothing going on. What do I do today? It's obviously because I didn't have a job. It's the pandemic. I can't go anywhere. I can't do anything. But I was in that state for 5 months where I was couch ridden, bed ridden, bored, just like eating a lot. So then it's like, okay, the working out's not working. Turn back to the eating and just get and thrown in the towel. So it got pretty bad. My family visited me for my birthday in the summer. I'm a July baby, and they kind of just told me to my face that they're like, Jacqueline, you look like shit. That I appreciate that about my family. They're straight up like that. I look like shit. I was pushing, I will say my top number. Ready for this, drum roll, please. The highest weight I was in my life was during the pandemic, and it was 173 pounds. So I finally weighed myself and was like, oh, how did this just happen in the last 5 months? But it's possible. So yeah, they noticed it. I noticed it. I also was blonde, and I have an opinion about being blonde. Like, unless you're it's gonna sound so fucked up. It wasn't fun. There was nothing cute about being a chubby blonde. Like, if you're blonde, it's just my personal opinion. Like, I'm in California, Southern California. I'm in San Diego. I dyed my hair bleach blonde, and I was super chubby, and like I had the worst acne ever at the time, and it was a train wreck. I didn't look like myself because I'm naturally dark brunette. So yeah, that was also fucking with my like identity. I'm like, oh my God, I'm like fat and blonde, and I'm being dramatic when I say fat. Yeah, so that was rock bottom. So now we're going to talk about the rise of Jacqueline 2.0, or when it all unfolded and how it happened so naturally and effortlessly, which is what I'm all about these days. My boyfriend just texted me, what you podcasting about? I like how I can be honest with him and I can actually tell him what I'm podcasting about. I'd be like, hey, I'm doing my eating disorder story today. And it's like not weird. And I know that he is going to be supportive of me and not be weirded out by it or shame me or no, none of that. Because I was honest with him when we went skiing, and I told him, and now he knows, and now I feel like it's all out on the table. So, you know, yeah, I feel like in the past I would like, how many boyfriends have I had that I hid this shit from? He's the first guy who's like, look, I can put down a pie, bitch. I can put down a pizza. I can put down a lot of ice cream in one sitting, and I get sick as fuck after, and that's just what happens on occasion after I go on a diet for like 6 months straight. Binge out on how often that happened. I think the worst it got was like every other night. Yeah, binging. That sucked. This is where the story comes to. This is where the phoenix rises from the ashes, bitches. I am the version of myself. I'm the best version of myself right now. Fucking finally. And, you know, I mentioned how during the pandemic, you know, gained the weight. My family visited me, said I look like shit. We went to the beach, and I fucking wear a big t-shirt the whole time, like a fat kid. It's just funny to me now, looking back. God. Okay, so then here's what happened. Thank God for my supportive family. My mom's like, Jacqueline, I got my own health insurance. So I was 26. I think I turned 26 out somewhere, right? How old am I now? I don't even know. I don't know how old. Am I 27? Yeah. So I got my own health insurance. I got a therapist, and then I got meds for depression. I got on that I got on Prozac, and that kind of changed my life, to be honest. Looking back, I'm like, I think that was a big catalyst that like gave me a nice little boost, the boost I needed to get me to a normal like level, as they say. Some people are so against medications and antidepressants. I was one of those people. Okay, I was that raw vegan drinking green juice, giving people, walking to class in college, handing out flowers that I picked on the way to class, like, you know, anti-chemicals, anti-medicine, like, don't take ibuprofen, it's bad for your liver, like, no drugs, no medications, just like natural. Okay, I was one of those people, right? But Prozac fucking changed my life, and I'll be straight up about that, because you know, yeah, what it did for me is it after a couple months of it getting into my system, it definitely gave me It leveled me out where I wasn't spiraling in negative thinking all day. Something I did not mention about my time, the 5 months of the pandemic when I gained all that weight, is when I laid in bed all day, I was just sitting there thinking about how much of a piece of shit I was. And I was like, Jacqueline, you have nothing going on in your life. You have no friends. You don't have a job. You have nothing going on. I was just like, I felt like such a loser. And so I was constantly spiraling in my head about that all day long. And the worst it got, so I literally stayed inside for 2 weeks straight. I only went outside to grab my mail. I think that was it. I didn't have a dog at the time. See, that's the thing about Jimmy. He kind of saved my life too, because I have to go outside multiple times a day. No matter what. No matter how depressed I am, I have to walk that dog. So, yeah, if you're depressed, get a dog. Anyways, yeah, the worst it got was the 2 weeks straight where I literally stayed inside. That was May, I think, 2020. So, health insurance, therapy, meds, help, rescue, support a family. Jacqueline, you're okay. My sister had a conversation with me. It was hard ass as fuck. She was so such a hard ass with me to me. But when she visited that summer, but I look back at our conversation and I'm like, you were so right. I needed that wake up. And she really cares and loves me, because it's like, well, that's like, I feel like that's what the best thing about family is, that, or my family especially, is we love each other so much. We want each other to like be, as happy and healthy and as successful as possible. Like we hold each other accountable. We're hard on each other. We have high standards for not only ourselves, but each other. And so when she came at me and told me what's up, like, Jacqueline, you look like shit. You need to get your life together. Like, you're better than this. This is not who you are. You are not yourself. Like, get help. Like, I needed that. And I needed it from my sister, because I really look up to her because of her self-discipline and her work ethic and her grit. And it's like, she's like a machine. It's like anything she wants in life, she accomplishes, and she's like, there's no wavering with her. There's no like falling off the rail or getting off the railroad tracks and then getting back on. It's like, no, she's locked in as fuck. So I really look up to her because of that. So when she's telling me this, I'm like, you're right. Okay. So that helped me a lot. So 2021, let's get into let's speed up. I started my podcast in September 2020, 7 days a week. That was my goal. Well, my goal was to do it for a year straight. So I started doing it 7 days a week. And, so I got Prozac in the system. I'm podcasting 7 days a week. I also was I'm at the same company. I got a job, a remote job. Boom, working, having a purpose again. Okay. And for the first time in my life, I really felt like, because of the podcast, I really felt like I have something I can focus on that makes me feel good, that has nothing to do with my body and working out and fitness and health and diet. Like, it had nothing to do with that. Like, that was it was like the first time in my life I'm like, oh my gosh, I have something else going on other than just like being a workout person and like going to the gym every day. That's like all I had going on for my whole 20s up until that point. I didn't have a hobby. I was like really good at eating clean and working out, except for those 5 months I got depressed and gained 25 pounds and just ate a lot of burritos, California burritos. Should I tell you guys my go-to when I was like depressed? Just know I'm a top like 0.01% customer on a at a local restaurant here in San Diego on Postmates, and not very proud of that, but whatever. So yeah, for the first time, like, this is an outlet that makes me feel creative. It makes me feel connected to myself, and it's not it has nothing to do with my appearance. It has nothing to do with my body. And it was like, whoa, now I can allocate this time. I have another way to allocate my time in the day, or what am I saying? I have, you know what I mean? And yeah, it's something going on. I started talking out my issues. I was talking a lot about, I never mentioned any of this eating disorder stuff, obviously. I kept it to myself for 310 episodes. It took me 2 years to talk about it. Jesus Christ. Issues. No, Jacqueline, don't say I have a big ego. Don't want people to see me slip. Always want to look like I have my shit together. Always want to look and appear like I'm fine. Everything's fine. I'm okay. I don't struggle. Is that a survival thing? Is that a social hierarchy thing? Like, never let people see you slip, real G's move in silence, or fucking people's, I don't know. I'm just like, here's the thing too. I'll air this out like I'm doing today on this really long episode. This isn't my brand. Let's keep okay, big ego over here talking. This isn't, I don't want this to be my my brand where I come on and talk about eating disorders and body image all the time, because to me it's like, it's my past, it's a story that I need to tell, but I don't, quote unquote, I like identify with it anymore, or I don't want to like reminisce and think about it all the time, because it's currently not an issue. Like, I'm finally on the other side, and now I'm telling my story, but I don't want this to like be my brand where, you know, because it's just like, it's like I'm exhausting it for however many hours here, and that's going to be it. Yeah. I'm tired of talking. I'm just tired of it. I've been through enough. Like, I don't want to keep thinking about it, talking about it, going back to the dark places with my toothbrush in my college apartment. God. So anyways, I got a hobby. I started podcasting, and that was the best decision I've ever made in my life. To this day, like, I think it healed me in so many ways, and it forced me to be extremely honest and raw and show all of myself with no filter, no edits, with no, you know, I wasn't like curating myself for the internet. It was just like, this is me today. This is what I went through in the last 24 hours. And I did that 7 days a week. And it was just like an audio diary every single day. And it was like, yeah, therapy with myself. And I've preached this so many times. And I truly believe that, there's something so golden and amazing about listening to your soul speak, and like talking out loud to yourself, and having a full-on conversation with yourself, and not telling a therapist, not telling a friend, and, you know, your family. Like, that's great. Do those things too, but also talk to yourself. Like, I know, and I've always said this too, like, yeah, it'll make you feel crazy. It might seem crazy. It might make you feel weird and uncomfortable, but the reason I feel so at home and so calm and at peace, and the reason I just love myself to my core so deeply now, is because I've spent the time alone with myself, talking it out, and like hearing my thoughts that have been bundled up in my head my whole life come out. It's a release. It's like a purge. And I know people journal. We've talked about this. People journal. That's great. I podcast, and I want to preach talking to yourself, because not enough people talk about talking to yourself. People shame schizophrenia. That's a little different, but it's because initially what I did before I started podcasting is I podcasted in the car, or I talked to myself in the car or the shower, and I would state the problem. I would state what I'm thinking, what I'm going through that's, you know, sucking in the moment, or that day, or that whatever. And I would go, okay, today this happened. It sucks. I fucking hate this about myself. I'm sad, blah, 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 whatever. And then I would state, okay, Jacqueline, here's what you're going to do. And I would talk out the solution. Okay, when you get home after this drive, you're going to just like organize your pantry or whatever. Like I would just like get, I would put myself into action that was like, I would do something positive or like I'd clean a lot, or I would organize stuff, or I'd call someone, or, you know, I'd do positive mental health exercises. Yeah, I'd walk through the solution. And yeah. So podcasting, are we off the eating disorder conversation? I feel like we are. Holy shit. So back in elementary school, let's rewind. No. I can't believe I started at like 3 when I got told, oh, you have such beautiful eyes. I think that's how this started, right? So 2021, I got Jimmy. And it also changed my life. Podcast changed my life. Then I got a dog. Okay. Jimmy, for the first time in my life. So the podcast was like, okay, first time in my life I have a hobby that has nothing to do with my body. Second thing that changed my life was mothering a life that every single time they need something, it comes before you. Like their needs come before you, and you have to be 100% selfless at all times. Like that was so good for me. It was one of the best decisions I made, because I needed to do something outside of myself. I need to care for something. I need to love something that was for someone else. It was for a dog. But I love the quote, by the way. I haven't mentioned any quotes in this episode. Ed Milet says, when you feel helpless, get helpful. And I really like that, because when you serve other people, or if you serve a dog, you have to, you know, take your dog out on a walk every day. When you're like, yeah, I was kind of coming out of 2020, kind of still in a funk, but like podcasting, kind of feeling like I'm getting my mojo back, finding myself again. And I think the weight was just kind of coming off a little bit naturally. Like, I don't know what I was doing fitness wise or whatever. But I got Jimmy, and yeah, I was having to help him constantly. And it really changed my life. And this is so like cliche. Get a dog, it'll change your life. Named him Jimmy Dean. So I'm really trying to bring this home as like in 2021 with something to do with like eating disorders or like food and exercise. Because where was I at? I was just, okay, let's get to the golden nugget of wisdom part of the episode. So like when my family visited me in 2020 during the summer for my birthday and said, you look like shit, you need help, like you're not yourself, like something's wrong, like get a therapist, you need, you know, medication, like we need to help you. When they did that, I never, so what I'm saying is I never had a conscious thought where I was like, okay, I need to lose all this weight, or like I need to go back to the gym, or like I need to start eating healthy. For some reason, I think it's because I wasn't dating at the time. I wasn't going into an office around people. I think it's because there's a piece of it that was like, okay, you're by yourself. You have all the time in the world. No one's around you. You can like take things slow, or just like you can do one step at a time. So like, you know, the therapy, medication, podcasting, I got a dog. Like at the same time, I'm like moving my body every day, but I'm not like thinking, oh, I'm doing this because I'm trying to lose weight. That's my whole point. I think that's a golden nugget of wisdom. When I wasn't focusing on it, I wasn't making it a goal, and I was just like applying all of the things I knew about living a healthy lifestyle in a super like natural way, where it's like, oh, I wake up, it's a new day. Well, what do you do on a new day, Jacqueline? Well, you like to, get a nice sweat in the morning so you feel, energized and good. So go on a quick 2-mile jog. And so then I would just like do that. And then I'd get home, shower, and like get to work or whatever. But it wasn't like I'm writing on my journal that I'm going to do 6 workouts this week and I'm going to do this kind of exercise. And then I'm going to eat this diet today and I'm going to have 2 oranges and or whatever. Like none of that happened. And it was just like, I lived a healthy lifestyle in a very intuitive, like kind of, what did I say earlier? Nonchalant way. And then, yeah, like all of a sudden, a couple months ago, I weighed myself, and I don't really weigh myself, but I was like, whoa, I totally feel like I'm down like a lot of weight. And I dropped the 25 pounds I had gained. So yeah, what I'm saying is that I think a lot of people preach, like goals, like goal setting and like how to set a goal and like what to do and the steps to achieve the goal and, write it down and like, have a plan and reverse engineer the steps to get the goal, right? But for some reason, for me, as someone who had struggled with eating disorders and exercise addiction and, healthy eating addiction and food addiction, all that stuff, for some reason, for me, putting it out of sight, out of mind 100%, and really, it's almost like I didn't even do it on purpose. That was the cure for me, because it wasn't those thoughts weren't spiraling in my head all day about like, I need to lose this weight, I need to get in shape again. No. It was just like, today's a new day, make it a good one, live a healthy lifestyle like you know how to, and call it a day. Do it again tomorrow. Repeat, and don't be extreme with anything you're doing. Live in the middle. Live on that moderation wave. Like ride that moderation wave. And I got really good at it without the thing I just don't know how to explain or put into words and share as a tangible piece of information you can like walk away with is exactly how I did it, because I didn't try. And I think, again, a lot of the gurus, a lot of the fitness people out there, a lot of the self-help people out there, they're always like preaching a very specific, detailed plan, a very like a routine, and it's like a model that you follow, and it's all about like step by step, and you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of structure to it. And I think the worst thing I could say is tangible advice to walk away with is like, don't try. So I don't want to say that's the golden nugget of wisdom, but it fucking worked for me. I don't know how else to say it. And it's like the less I thought about losing weight, the less I thought about what I ate every day, the less I thought about working out, the fitter I became. And I don't know how to explain it. I was just, Jacqueline, you know what? You got a dog. Jimmy made you walk a lot. You probably walked off the weight. Yes, I did. I will say Jimmy was my personal trainer. He was a huge factor in my weight loss. So I will say that. Okay. But, yeah, that whole time during 2021, I was like, I don't have issues with, I'm not like binging. I'm not thinking about food. I'm like eating whatever, or like in moderation, and it was great. It just like, it all came full circle. And I think I was really happy and really whole because I felt fulfilled in the areas of career, because I had a job. I finally, I got a job, and I had a hobby, a passion that I loved. Then I got a dog, and that made my heart feel full. I felt like it made me feel like, it fulfilled that inner mother in me, that nurturing thing that I need to do as a woman. So I was fulfilled. And then cherry on top, I meet my boyfriend in the spring. So he was really good to me and everything I've literally never had in the past in one person. all the things I wanted in my exes, like he has. So red rose-colored glasses, are they off yet? I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Rose-colored glasses, like when you first start dating someone, they're on, and then over time they wear off, and then you start to see all their flaws. But whatever. It's all about loving someone for their flaws, because we all have them, and no one's perfect, and that's beautiful. And Jimmy, do you need to shit? Come here, make an appearance. Come on. This was a heavy episode. So I don't even know what to recap. Yeah, like intuitively, you know what to do to be a healthy person. You know what works for you. You know what your body responds well to. Do that. And I guess that's my advice. Stop turning to the internet for answers and advice and inspiration. Just fucking put your one foot in front of the other. And it's like the major component, though, the underlying thing about, or factor, or whatever in all this, is that, like, I deeply care about and love myself to the core, to the point now where, like, those behaviors, those like addiction patterns and habits that I did in the past, because that was all on me. No one else put the food in my fucking mouth or didn't eat or whatever. It's just like, never again. Like, I would never do that to myself. So I don't know how you build that strong foundation of self-love other than what I've personally done. Like, I don't know how you would do that, but what worked for me was podcasting. Who's sick and tired of me talking about podcasting? But truly, like, working everything out of my head through my voice and using my words. And that really started it. And then from there, it was just like a natural, like, okay, I'm feeling like myself again. I'm happy. I have a lot going on in my life now. I'm plugged in. I have a job. I have a dog. I have and then I had a boyfriend. What's happened since then? So many amazing things. Here's the thing. So many amazing things have happened in my life since then. Since that rock bottom in the pandemic when I gained all the weight. Like, it's a domino effect. Like, once you kind of start getting your shit together, mind, body, and soul, don't get off the wave. Oh my God. I think that's my advice. Like, stay on the fucking wave. Try not to, just stay on it, ride the wave, because that momentum is so key in life, and like, or being, or in experiencing life to its fullest. Because if you're if you're constantly peaking or going down to the valley, rock bottoming out, and you're doing this like up and down thing all the time, it's rough out there. Like, that's when the ship sinks, okay? That's when it's hard to get up. I'm trying to make a water ship boat analogy. That's when you're capsizing, right? We're in a sailboat, we're capsizing, okay? But yeah, if you just like stay on the wave, that's where the life feels the most fulfilling, and that's where you experience life at its that's when life's the best. So I guess a way and a thing you can do that helps keep you on the wave is I I like the 48-hour rule. That's something, that's a huge lesson I learned about, or in 2020, looking back. I let 48 hours, so I didn't apply the 48-hour rule to my life when I was depressed, sitting on the couch, eating like shit, watching Tiger King all day. So I would repeat that for like weeks straight. And so what happened is I got too far gone. I was like too far down the rabbit hole. What are these phrases? You know, and I wasn't disciplined, where if you cut yourself off after, if 48 hours goes by where you're having 2 days of funk, in my case, like in the past, I would binge eat and like feel like I was gonna have a heart attack like for 2 days, you know, like just don't let it go past 2 days, I guess. For anything that goes awry in life, try to keep it within that 48 hours, because I've heard that advice somewhere. I'm sure it's like a success tactic, or a successful person habit tactic, but there's a lot of truth there. So yeah, if you keep yourself disciplined. Guys, I'm hitting a wall. Holy shit, this episode's long. Yeah. What'd you learn today? I think it was pretty ballsy of me to admit that I got a big ego about, or that I have a big ego about, never, or for wanting people to perceive me like I always have my shit together, and I don't want people to see me slipping. That wasn't easy, because but just like, wow, how stupid. Because then it's like and then I talk shit to myself. I'm like, Jacqueline, you're not fucking special. Like you're having a life experience that thousands, millions of other people have had. Why don't you be real and straight up and be honest, fully honest. Because that's the thing too. You guys know that part of what I do on the show here is I tell you guys my life story, right? But it's like I felt like in a way, like I was holding this information back, by not really being completely vulnerable and honest. I was not like lying to you, but I was withholding information that's really key, and it's a major factor in what makes me who I am. And so, yeah. Does that make sense? I need to end this episode. I'm getting tired. My dog needs to shit. All right, let's wrap it up. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you, whatever it is, I hope you found something you could take away and use in your life, or maybe you just felt like you could relate to me a little bit there. So that's cool too. Whatever it was, whatever it is, past tense, present tense, I don't know what I'm saying. I did episode 310. I shared my eating disorder, body image, exercise, addiction, psychological abuse. What did I talk about? I talked about some dark stuff today. Wow. I shared it with you. And yeah, I did see a TikTok. Oh my gosh. I'm like, sorry. I'm like in my head right now. For 2 seconds, I just thought about it. This person came on a TikTok and was like basically shutting down people talking about their life story on the internet. Like, just, we have enough people doing it. Stop making like random people, just like anyone is making like content of themselves telling their life stories now. And it's like, just like there's too many people. So here I am, like, oh, I'm doing it. But I've been here. Okay, let's keep it straight. I've been here. Let's keep it straight. It's episode 310. I'm not a new, in school, new meat in school. I'm not a new kid on the block in the podcasting world. I've been here. Okay, I'm gonna tell my life story. But yeah, no new people. Can we just establish like a core, like we need to like as a society establish like, okay, these are our core like 500 creators, and that's like that's our Disney Channel cast and crew, or like that's our content cast and crew. That's it. No one else can audition, no one else can do you know what I mean? They're just so, I mean, it's like, yeah, I'm sticking with it though. I'm writing now. I'm not gonna let that make me stop what I'm doing here. But I thought it was funny. She's like, can we just like, we have enough people making content on the internet. I'm like, but I did hear Kim Kardashian say that there's room for everyone. So there's room for everyone here, which is also true. And I'm pro podcasting. I'm very pro like talking it out with yourself. You want to make a solo podcast, so fucking do it. Just be interesting, just be entertaining, and don't fucking waste my time or else I won't listen. I'm literally axing so many podcasts. I'm starting to get bored. I was doing that with my show after this one. Like I'm axing so many subscriptions because I'm like, oh my god, it's like just not entertained anymore. But that's normal, right? You get kind of worn out of people. Anyways, okay, happy Sunday. This was a long one. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay strong out there if you're struggling with, stay strong. Great advice, or that'll help a lot. God damn it, I didn't mention this. Time. If you're struggling with this kind of subject, eating disorders and food and stuff, the number one thing when I really look at it that healed me from my issues was time, and a lot of repetitions, a lot of trial and error, and eventually it all kind of worked out for me. But I wasn't in a hurry, wasn't trying to heal from this like overnight, and I allowed time to take its course, and I put faith in the fact, because it's a fact, time heals everything. So I allowed time. I'm gonna fall asleep. I let time run its course, and yeah. So if you're struggling, just like don't be in a hurry. This kind of shit takes time and a lot of failure. You're gonna fail more times than you succeed in life. Okay, right? How many quotes or how many phrases can I come up with today? Oh, I wish it wasn't cloudy. I want to go to the beach. I just want to say bye. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe wherever you're listening right now. And if you want to support the show and support me as podcast host, because this is my 30-year plan. This is my retirement plan. Plan to retire as a podcast host. Patreon.com/tjms. Go sign up. It's $5 a month. Love you. Hope you have a great week, and I'll talk to you next Sunday. Bye.